3 important skills needed to close more sales. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, I'm not a salesperson, I sell online. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you need to be able to sell. Okay, so there's 3 important skills that you're going to need to sell online. Now, a lot of people think, well, I'm online. I don't have to sell anything because I don't have to talk to anybody. Your sales letters will need to talk to people. Your ad copy will need to talk to people. Your videos will need to talk to people. So all those things have to have the ability to sell somebody. So that's what I want to go over in this video. Most people really don't know how to sell. They're just presenters and they have answers for objections. But that's not how you go about this. This is not selling. Selling is done so that at the end of the presentation, the prospect is almost begging to buy what you have. They think your product is underpriced in relationship to its value, and any doubt that they were to have about it, you've already handled in the beginning. So that's how we want to do a sales presentation. At the end of this video, I'm also going to show you how you can get a free course to start, run, and grow your online business. So don't forget about that. Now, if you believe in your product and you think it's a good product, it's really your obligation to close that sale. If this is going to improve somebody's life and make them better and help them, then you owe it to sell them. You just have to do that. It's something that, a lot of us think, well, gee, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to make people, buy something. The point is, if it relieves stress or pain, or it makes them safer, or, it protects their home, or whatever it is, benefit that you have for your product, it, makes their relationship with their pet better because the dog's trained. All of those things matter. And if you have a product like that and you can help somebody, you owe it to them to sell them that product. Now, if you don't have a great product, what? You shouldn't be selling it to anybody. But if you believe in your product, you need to sell it. Now, many salespeople are good at, doing the sales process, but they're not good at the close. And why they're not good at the close is because they're really not good at the process. At least they think they're good at it. They think that by educating the prospect about their product, about being charming and funny, that's the goal, but it's not. The goal is to close the sale and help the prospect. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing them a disservice. Okay, so like I said, I'm not talking about a forced sale. That's not something you can do. Matter of fact, I don't know that anybody can force somebody to buy anything. All they can do is pressure them and make them mad, and that's not what we want to do. There's no real thing really is forcing somebody to buy anything. There's only obnoxious salespeople. That's all that is. Closing a sale is the single only thing that puts money in your pocket. So that's what you have to do. You've got to close the sale. That's what's important. Number one, first thing that you need to have, number one, is the ability to empathize with your prospect. If you can't empathize with them, if you really don't care, people know that. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Once they see that you care, you have to actually care about the customer, and you have to believe that you have the best product or service for them and they're going to benefit by buying your product. If they can see that you're empathizing with them, if they can see that you care and that you really want to help them, they're probably going to buy your product. Number 2, the ability to identify pain points and solve them for your prospect. If you can identify their pain points, if you can describe your customer's pains better than them, then your prospect will beg you to sell it to them. No pain, no sale. So if a prospect doesn't have a pain or something that they're trying to fulfill, then you don't really have a sale. And if you don't know what those are, you're going to have a real hard time selling them. So you need to study that. Some prospects don't even realize they have pain because they didn't know there was a solution. It hadn't been identified to them yet. So that's your job to do that. Pain and problems drive sales. That's the only thing that drives a sale. Otherwise, why would you give up your money if you're not getting something back in return? You just have to be able to look at their situation, figure out what's wrong, and diagnose it. So if you can diagnose problems really good, you're going to do really good at sales. But that's one of the skills you certainly have to have. And then number 3, the ability to handle objections. Now, here's the funny thing. I hired a lot of salespeople over the years, and I would say, well, what's your skill? And they say, well, I can close sales. I can close sales. And that's really not something you should even have to do. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't have to handle objections at the end of the sale. Objections should be handled during the sale. If you handle all their objections before you go for the close, you're going to do much, much better off. You should know their objections before you start the presentation. So you need to sit down and list out all the reasons somebody would not buy from you. If you know that, you can cover them. Now, a lot of salespeople are afraid to bring up objections. They're going to say, well, if I bring it up, then they're not going to want to buy it. I'm like, no. If you let them bring it up, they're not going to buy it. You have to bring it up. You should not avoid them because it looks like you're lying if you avoid objections. So you don't want to do that. You need to bring them up. And years ago I was involved in the automotive industry, and what I did is I sat down and I figured out the objections that people have to buying a car. And I knew it went something like this. Husband and wife's at home and they say, hey, we want to go out and look at cars, but we don't want to be pressured and we don't want to buy anything today. And we just want to get payments and we want to get some prices, maybe figure out what the car's worth. We want to shop around, compare all these deals. And then once we figure out what the best deal is, then we'll go back and buy the car. That was what was in their head. But unfortunately, when they got to car dealerships, car salesmen would walk up to them and say, hey, you want a great deal today? You want to buy a car today? And they were like, no. We're just looking today. We don't want to do anything. And then they wouldn't drive the car. They wouldn't talk to the salesperson. And that salesperson lost a sale. So what that salesperson should have said is say, hey, welcome to the dealership. There's no pressure here. As a matter of fact, if you just want to look around, drive some cars, feel free to do so. You don't have to buy anything right now. Matter of fact, if you want to get some prices and payments and interest rate, maybe you figure out what your car's worth, get all that information together, gather it together, and then take it and go shop it. I want you to feel free to do that. Is that fair enough? And guess what most people would say? They'd say, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I like this person. Maybe I'll hang out with them for a little bit. Maybe we'll look at cars. Maybe we'll drive a car. Maybe we'll go inside and get numbers. But you know what happens along the way? They start to like that person. And by the time they get inside and they see the numbers and they see the deal, they buy a car. But you can't get them to that stage by saying it up front. It just won't happen. You have to understand where they're coming from. So I hope this helped you out. Hope it makes you a better salesperson. Hope it makes you realize that you are a salesperson. Everybody is. They're always selling. They're selling their ideas. They're selling, what they want for dinner, what movie they want to go to, what they want their kids to do. And selling is okay as long as the outcome is good for the person that you're selling. Now, if you want to get a free course on e-commerce, I want you to check the description below. I promise this to you. You can click on that link, course valued at $500. You can get absolutely free. All you got to do is click the link, go there, get the course. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget, you got to subscribe to this channel. You got to like this video. And if you've tried some sales things and they've worked or they haven't worked, put the comments below. I love to see your comments and I respond to all of them. I really appreciate it. And have you subscribed yet? Click the button. Have you liked this yet? Gotta do it. Only takes a second. Smash that like button. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.